this from Mark. I think he did this at the beginning of his State of the County address, so. See if that will hold. Good afternoon, and welcome to the 2025 State of Harrison Township Address. I will begin by thanking Lake St. Clair MetroPark for hosting this year's event. Thank you to all of the sponsors, and thanks to the Macomb County Chamber for organizing and promoting the State of Harrison Township Address. I know that we had electeds stand, but I would like to specifically recognize some folks from the township. If you could just hold your applause. We have our clerk, Adam Witt, our treasurer, Larry Tominello, and trustees Liza Brown, David Brado, and Dean Olgiati here. So thank you to all of you for coming. We also have several township department heads in attendance. We have our fire chief, Dave Bostader. Justin Murphy is our public services director. Nikki Gibbous, our finance director. Brent Condon, the building official. Stephanie Middlestat, our deputy supervisor. And Melissa Goins, our library director. So thank you to all of you for attending. I also have to thank Tony for his introduction. If it wasn't for Tony, I wouldn't be here today. 21 years ago, he mentioned it. He asked me to manage his campaign finance reporting because he was going to run for Township Supervisor. I told him that he was nuts, but I would agree to do it. 17 years ago, Larry and I ran for trustee because we knew we could do a better job than the people who were serving with Tony at the time as trustees. 15 years ago, Tony successfully ran to be our state representative, and this week he announced his run for Secretary of State. I am confident that in 14 months, he will be elected as the next Secretary of State for the great state of Michigan. I'm excited for him, but not excited to handle campaign finance reporting for a statewide race. Harrison Township seems to have a knack for producing Michigan Secretaries of State. And now a word about today's sponsors. I'm ad-libbing this part. I just watched a bunch of great folks come up, but I have to give a shout out to Erica. She is doing an awesome job representing SMART. In 15 years, we've had some varying people representing SMART, and Erica is among the best. So thank you very much, Erica. I'd also like to recognize A-Pro Climate Control. This is a growing company based right here in Harrison Township, and I am confident that they will keep on growing. Owner Alan Hedu believes A-Pro's success is due to satisfied customers who recommend his company to family, friends, neighbors, and business associates. A-Pro was voted best of the best heating and cooling company in Macomb County for 3 straight years. First place. They are opening a new storefront and are having their grand opening and open house on Saturday, October 4th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. They're located at 35618 Jefferson, but easier to just say right next to Lori's Lick 'em Up ice cream. I would also like to recognize another sponsor, USPBL and Jimmy John's Field. Although they are not based in Harrison Township, it's the kind of regional place that makes all of our towns a little cooler. It's a beautiful stadium, very family friendly, and an exciting place to watch baseball. In fact, last month I was there and I caught a home run ball. Thanks, Karen. Every year I write and rewrite this address. I probably write 3 times more than I keep. I had a part talking about how great the Tigers are doing this season. I had to scratch that. I also was going to talk about how it's imperative that our state leaders pass a budget, and they screwed that up last night. The truth is that today is my least favorite day of the year. Just saying State of the Township makes me uncomfortable and anxious. So today, instead of saying it anymore, I decided that I will use this horn instead of saying State of the Township, kind of like a sound that a censor would use to block out a bad word. Every year I try to incorporate a theme in the past themes have been the top 10 things about Harrison Township, or how it's the little things that make a community great. In 2019, I told the audience that my first theme that year was Prestige Worldwide, and two guys in the back under 40 laughed. Sometimes you just can't pick the right joke. This year, my theme is Harrison Township is better because of things that are outside of our control. I'm talking about things that are outside our border or inside our border, but outside our control. Jimmy John's Field isn't in Harrison Township, but just having it nearby makes living in Harrison Township a little bit better. Last week, Mayor Kropp hosted the Mount Clemens. Mayor Kropp and her team are doing a great job. Mount Clemens is also one of those things that's outside our border. We don't control, but it is the kind of thing that offers amenities and things that make Harrison Township better. The mayor is on the ballot, and I encourage the voters in Mount Clemens to re-elect Mayor Kropp this November. What else is making Harrison Township better? Detroit. The city is on the rebound. Harrison Township is more small town than big city, yet we are less than 17 miles or 25 minutes away from Ford Field and Comerica Park. Jimmy Fallon just hosted the Tonight Show in Detroit after the Lions beat the Bears. He visited a number of the local gems in the city. We all have easy access to these gems, as well as cutting-edge medical care just minutes away. Many of our residents here in Harrison Township work in Detroit, but choose to live here. Chances are your favorite band or artist will stop in Detroit on that world tour. We either prefer Lafayette or American. Can I get a show of hands amongst the crowd? Who's a Lafayette fan? Who's an American fan? Is there anybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about? How about the Tigers? Do they have a shot at the World Series? Do the Lions have a shot at the Super Bowl? I'm definitely on that train. I love Dan Campbell. You know, when we travel, people ask you where you're from. We say we're from Detroit. We may be Boat Town, but we are closely linked to Motown. Detroit's resurgence is having a positive impact on Harrison Township. Something that was out of our control was the sale of GFL's waste hauling service to Priority Waste a little over a year ago. We expected the transition to be bumpy, but 6 months later, we were still experiencing significant problems and complaints. Fortunately, our contract ended May of this year. We solicited bids in January, and although the cost was higher, we selected Tringali Sanitation as our single waste hauler. The cost difference amounts to less than 62 cents per week per household, but the difference in service is unbelievable. We have had a single waste hauler for over 15 years in Harrison Township, yet the amount we pay per home for all three services and white goods over the next 5 years is still less than we were paying in 2009. And that cost includes all of the dumpster service for the various township facilities. Something right here in Harrison Township that is making life better is our senior center, and especially our new senior activities coordinator, Jessica Koskinen. Jessica started last November, and she's taken a good program and made it great. Jessica even graciously agreed to be the Phillies baseball Karen today. So thank you, Jessica, for all of your work with the senior center and Parks and Rec. Speaking of Parks and Rec, Jessica has been working closely with our library on this year's Christmas tree lighting. It's scheduled for December 4th, and it's going to be extra special. I'm not allowed to tell you why, but I guarantee you do not want to miss it. During last year's, I reported that we were getting 2 new bridges, and this year I can report that one, the South River Road Bridge, is open for traffic. I also reported that we are working on a pedestrian bridge along Jefferson over the spillway. We are still working on it and hope to begin construction this spring. This is a $3.5 million investment that will connect 15 residential streets, 10 condo developments, and 4 apartment complexes to 4 township and state parks, Lake St. Clair MetroPark, Macomb County's regional path system, and the state's Iron Bell Trail. Next year, we will see North River Road reconstructed from Bridgeview to I-94, as well as Jefferson reconstructed from South River Road to Metro Parkway. These roads may not be Shaner, but they are still important to us here in Harrison Township. This year, we finalized the improvements to Miller Park, formerly Waterfront Park. We invested over $1.6 million, and the results are amazing. We are still trying to get the new grass to grow, but the Canada geese keep eating the seed. None of these geese have visas, so I'm looking at bringing in ICE and having them deport the geese back to Canada. Hopefully the grass will grow and we will be able to dedicate the park in the spring. One thing that all of these projects have in common is that they were funded all or in part with grants. When I first ran for trustee, I pledged to pursue as many grants as possible. After serving on the board for 17 years, I now realize that grants can be an unfair way to distribute public funds. Regardless, the public and the politicians love grants. We take pride here in Harrison Township that we are the only municipality in Macomb County that doesn't levy a general fund millage. We have a dedicated police millage, we have a dedicated fire millage, that's it. So we operate pretty lean. This leaves very, very limited funds to be able to come up with the match necessary to accept some of these grants. It is for this reason that I plan to propose to the board a $500,000 grant funding millage to be placed on the ballot in 2026. This millage would generate funds that can only be spent to match grant funds from other government agencies at the state, federal, county level, or from private foundations. Investing our township funds is something I do not control, but it's also something I don't have to worry about. Our treasurer, Larry Tominello, does an excellent job actively managing our funds. In 2024, the efforts of Larry and Angie, his deputy, yielded $173,903 in general fund interest, $110,818 in library fund interest, and $525,847 in sweep account interest. When we include over $276,000 in interest from special assessment districts that we self-funded, our treasurer's efforts generated over $1 million in interest income in 2024. Meanwhile, the Harrison Township Fire Department has been busy providing the highest level of service. In the first 8 months of the year, they have gone on 2,177 runs, including 47 fire and 1,444 EMS calls. Inspections totaled 421, which in some ways is even more important work. Inspections and education prevent fires, losses, and fatalities. Chief Bostater and IAFF 1737 have worked together to create a paramedic internship and a firefighter internship, both creative ways of recruiting talent at a time when many departments are struggling to maintain staffing levels. This past February, our 2005 Pierce apparatus was struck and totaled while responding to a call on I-94 in a hit-and-run accident. A hit-and-run accident on a fire truck, that's just crazy. Chief Bostater worked every angle to make sure the insurance settlement generated revenue sufficient to purchase and equip a replacement apparatus which is 8 years newer at no cost. We are also in the beginning stages of an effort to rebuild or replace Fire Station 1. More than 50 years have passed since the station was built. Many things have changed in the fire service that require necessary updates to our technology and our construction. We continue to contract with the Macomb County Sheriff's Office for police protection. We recently added a new position. Sergeant Mayer is our new command officer. He acts as the leader of our team, and we could not be happier. We currently have 15 full-time staff, and we share the cost 50-50 for a school resource officer with Lance Crew Schools. This school resource officer is a full-time officer dedicated to serving the needs of our students in our schools. The presence of a deputy in the schools not only makes our schools safer, it keeps the remaining 15 personnel that we contract for in the community instead of responding to issues in the schools. Another thing that makes Harrison Township great is our representation. The folks in Lansing and Washington, D.C. that represent us do a great job. We were dealing with issues related to shoaling and the need to dredge the mouth of the Clinton River. Congressman John James was able to secure the funding needed, and the river is currently being dredged right now today as we sit here. John was also able to secure funding for a multi-use path on South River Road that will run from Bridgeview to Lance Cruz. This 1.5-mile path will connect 20 residential streets, 3 condo developments, to Lake St. Clair MetroPark, the countywide path system, and the Iron Bell Trail. We expect to award the design engineering contract for this project next month. Speaking of Lake St. Clair MetroPark, this is the first time that has been held here. The park opened in 1950, and it has been a regional destination ever since. We all pay a small millage. The tax on my home last year was less than $18, yet we get 3 parks all over the region. I do not control the parks, yet this park makes living in Harrison Township much better. Here to tell us more about all the good things happening here is CEO of the MetroParks, Amy McMillan.
Aaron, are we ready to go? Excellent, thank you. Good afternoon, and Supervisor Verkest, I really appreciate the opportunity to be here today, to be part of MetroPark, which is equally beloved, I think, to many people from the area as Metro Beach. At the Huron-Clinton MetroParks, we have 13 parks, 25,000 acres. And many of us who work for the MetroParks have worked at more than one of the parks, and that first park that we ever worked at is what we call our home park. And Lake St. Clair is my home park. I was an intern, a college intern here at Lake St. Clair a long time ago. But to put it into some perspective, it was after the tot lot sign and the roller rink were removed, but before the Nature Center was built. And every single time I walk up that walk and into the plaza, I feel at home. So thank you for being my second home here in Harrison Township. We have a lot of projects coming to the MetroParks that are in the works and things that are coming to completion over the course of this year. If you are a boater or you love coming to the boat show or anything related to the water that requires a boat, you have probably been really disappointed by the fact that the North Marina has been closed since 2019. There was a bunch of damage that was done at that time, and it turns out that repairing and restoring marinas are super, super expensive. We were successful in securing $5 million from the state of Michigan, thanks to our local representatives, to restore the North Marina. And we are super excited that this project is well in the works. The design is going to bring back the floating finger docks to the North Marina Basin, and all of those docks will be entirely accessible. There will be at least 78 boat slips. We're still counting and working on the final design, and they will be available for transient-only docking. This doubles the capacity of our marina, and it means that those folks who are coming in on those big boats with all of their nice money are going to be here spending money in Harrison Township. So we're really looking forward to that. Part of the marina is to upgrade and to raise all of the existing utilities so that next time we have a large water event, they will not be underwater again. And one of our big things that's going on right now, which might not seem really exciting to you, but part of this marina project is dealing with the electricity here at Lake St. Clair, and I'll get back to that in a minute. But the North Marina will also include some fishing areas on the west side of the lagoon. The lighting is going to be upgraded. There's going to be more picnicking with a fire pit. And this project will be complete by the end of next year. We'll look forward to having you all back for a ribbon cutting ceremony. One of the other projects that may not seem really exciting, but it's incredibly exciting to us because the oldest bathroom in the entire MetroPark system of 13 parks and 25,000 acres exists here at Lake St. Clair. So we are really looking forward to the upgrade of this facility. It will make it handicap accessible. It will provide new bathhouse facilities, an outdoor gathering area, and it will make it its own place within the park all year long. Here are some details of the project: new shower and toilet facilities, boater registration area, vending machines, adult changing tables, access to the outside, and we were talking about grants a minute earlier. The MetroParks are putting about $1 million toward this project. One of the other projects that is coming here to Lake St. Clair is the Day Sail Trail Development Project. This will add a half mile of trails within the hike-bike trail system in the park. It's a looped trail system. It won't come as any surprise to anybody here, I'm sure, to hear that every time we ask people throughout the region, including here in Harrison Township, what is the most important recreation amenity for them and their family, we hear trails. And so this is an opportunity to improve and expand the trail system here at Lake St. Clair and its connections outside of the park. There will be 2 new trailheads, some new trees, improvements are being made to the West Beach Picnic Shelter. We're in the process of applying for permits this fall, and this is a really good spot for me to stop and thank the folks at Harrison Township. When our engineering department and our parks operation department here at Lake St. Clair heard that I was making a presentation to you all today, they all said, please make sure to thank the folks at Harrison Township for being such great partners. We work with the Harrison Township team on a regular basis for permits, for engineering, when we accidentally run over a water hydrant, which happens on occasion. The folks from the township are right here to help us figure out solutions, get them done quickly, and make sure that all of our operations are kept underway. One of the big projects that I am super excited about, because the boardwalk is such an iconic piece of the experience here at Lake St. Clair, is the upcoming renovation and restoration of the West Boardwalk. We've been working really hard, section by section, on improving the East Boardwalk over the course of the last several years, but this project on the West Boardwalk, which is funded by grants in part, is going to make it its own destination in the park. So we are looking forward to having you and your families experience this new great amenity. And you can see a little bit of what it is going to look like when we are done. It will be an incredible gathering space for all of our visitors. And the greening of parking lot C. We have been working for years to wrangle the restoration and the renovation of the parking lot here at Lake St. Clair. If you come on a Saturday or a Sunday during the summer, you know that we need every inch of this parking space for people who come to the park, who come here for events. And you also know that some parts of the parking lot are in better shape than others. It's extraordinarily expensive to do a parking lot restoration of this size, and it's also incredibly important to do so in such a way that is consistent with the county's values in green infrastructure. And this grant that I was talking about, that $5 million that is coming from the state, is helping us do the next section, and you'll see it this coming summer right here and right out there. Thank you. Seriously, parking lots are so expensive. But if you think parking lots are expensive, let me tell you that restoring an electrical grid system that is decades old and is fragile in ways that have kept me up at night since April 18th of 2018 when I first learned of this project. Restoring the electrical grid here at Lake St. Clair is a nearly $4.5 million project that we have been putting dollars away every year for the last few years. We started meeting with DTE last year to make this project come together. They've been insanely great partners to make it happen, and you should never really see anything about this project. It is moving so seamlessly, but we wanted to bring it to your attention today because without this work, without the partnership of DTE in making this happen, we were constantly on the edge of losing power here at Lake St. Clair. And if there's no power, there is no park. We were also able to leverage our own investment with about $1 million from FEMA, thanks to our delegation in Washington, and in particular, Senator Peters and his office. So we thank them. Okay, Aaron, you're doing such a great job. Thank you for keeping right up. So I don't know if you were counting as we went along. We were talking about the value of these projects, but this is an outline of that. Over the course of the next couple of years, as all of these projects come to completion in 2026, this equals nearly $10 million here at Lake St. Clair. We will have touched almost everything here at Lake St. Clair over the course of the last couple of years and the next year coming up. We have a couple of more projects that we will be working on in the years to come, but we are really grateful for the support and the collaboration, the letters of support from everyone to bring these dollars into the MetroParks, into Macomb County, and into Harrison Township. So thank you for that. Just in case we talked a little bit about what is going to happen over the course of the next year, wanted to let you know that as these grants come in, we've actually completed some of our projects in the last year, and here is one of them that really, I think, represents our commitment to the environment and being great stewards of Lake St. Clair. So we're really excited to have brought this project along the Black Creek shoreline to completion in 2023. There you go, Eric. Next up. We got a grant back in 2021 that has helped us manage E. coli in Lake St. Clair. This has been an issue for the park for decades, and we are so proud of the fact that we've been able to manage it so successfully that instead of having weeks of closures of the beach and people being unable to swim in the lake from our park, this year we have had only a handful. And I'm not going to bring up the numbers. It's kind of gross to talk about the number of geese and seagulls that were here, but we're excited by the drop in those numbers. And you're welcome to send your Canada geese back to Canada, but please do not send them here to Lake St. Clair Metro Park. And that, in a nutshell, is what we've been working on over the course of the last few years, what we have coming up over the next couple of years. We appreciate so much, again, our partnership with the township, our partnership with the county, some of the folks who are sitting here in the room today. And we hope that you have great memories of the times that you've come to Lake St. Clair, and that you will come back and create more memories for you and your family in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. Again, all of these good things are happening in our community, making Harrison Township a better place to live, yet we don't control them. We are fortunate also to have such great partners. $10 million investment in the township, and I didn't have to lift a finger. Speaking of good partners, I cannot deliver without talking about Selfridge Air National Guard Base. Last year, we heard that we were getting 12 new KC-46 Pegasus refuelers. They're scheduled to arrive in 2030. This year, we heard that we will be getting 21 F-15EX fighters in 2028. The combination of both of these missions will help ensure the viability of our base for years to come. This good news is the result of the efforts of many, but I have to take a minute and toot my own horn. I personally have worked very hard to get a new fighter mission at Selfridge. Some of you may have seen or heard about the billboard I purchased on I-75 during the Mackinac Policy Conference promoting the need for a new fighter mission. Also, I'm sure you are all familiar with the media campaign I helped design and have tirelessly promoted, an effort to convince the military to maintain their presence in Harrison Township. Seriously, the placement of these two missions at Selfridge will have a huge impact on our region, and it is the result of many people working together. The Macomb County Chamber and our county executive, Mark Hackle, and his team were a big part of getting this done, making Harrison Township better, even though I didn't have control of the effort. Some interesting stats about the missions. Although the original F-15 flew in 1969, the F-15EX is a completely new platform. The first F-15EX flight was just 2021. The fighter has an incredible amount of new technology on board, and this project supports over 23,000 jobs in 42 states, including Michigan, and it will add many new jobs to Selfridge. The KC-46 Pegasus is based on the Boeing 767 platform. Manufacturing of the aircraft supports over 37,000 jobs in 43 states, including Michigan, and this mission will also add many new jobs to the base. This tanker is much more advanced than our current KC-135s. The KC-46 offers the traditional boom refueling system as well as hose and drogue systems. It can be refitted to carry up to 114 passengers. It can carry palletized cargo, and it can also serve as an aeromedical evacuation unit with a capacity of 54 patients. This plane is a refueler, a cargo plane, and a flying hospital. The runway encroachment solution is a project that will shift the runway on the base to the north. It will require the realignment of Hall Road, and it is in design, currently at 65%. It will make Selfridge more attractive to future missions and improve safety for our region. The project is being funded by the state, largely by the state, through a bipartisan effort. Not controlled by Harrison Township, yet virtually guaranteeing the future of the base, which is good for the township. Collectively, Selfridge tells me they're expecting between $500 million and $1 billion in investment in the base over the next 10 years. There are lots of exciting things happening that we do not control, but there are some things that we do control that are worth talking about. Our building department has recently started taking permit applications and inspection scheduling online. Working with the Treasurer's Office, they are also accepting online payments, which has streamlined processing, especially for contractors. Having to send somebody around every day to run permits when you can just do it online, just a huge, huge improvement. We have issued 760 building permits in the first 8 months of this year, which is on pace for last year's figures and ahead of the previous 6 years. We also purchased portable tablets for our inspectors, making time spent in the field more effective. Thanks to Brent and his team for all of their efforts to improve our building department. Our assessor reports that our assessed property values are up 6.04% for 2025, and our taxable value is up 5.06% for 2025. Our taxable value has increased by over 43% in the last 7 years. These figures are outpacing inflation, and they demonstrate the strong value of property in Harrison Township. Our 2024 audit came with a clean, unmodified opinion, which is the best you can hope for. Thank you, Nikki. Our water and sewer department has completed the installation of a new meter reading system that helps identify water leaks in people's homes before they have a large water bill. It also streamlines the billing process, so thank you to Justin and his team for doing that. Despite our aging infrastructure, our field personnel are small but mighty. They keep everything working without the need to pay outside contractors to perform work such as water main break repairs. The hardworking individuals in our water and sewer department, and frankly, in all the leaders here in your water and sewer departments, are truly first responders. They don't always get that recognition, but they keep the water on. Our clerk continues to lead the way in elections. He too worked here as a young man at the beach. He's a leader amongst clerks statewide, truly an expert. His staff administers elections efficiently. When I gather with other township leaders and we talk about things that bother them, clerks come up all the time, and I just smile and go to another conversation because we don't have anything to worry about. He's also a great partner and friend. I cannot imagine serving without Adam. He is the foundation of our board. Our library is small but mighty, and it is growing. We are working with them to enhance our entire township campus. We will be connecting our building to the library with an addition, and we will eventually eliminate the current administration building. This concept will result in shared space, which will result in a lower cost to build and maintain common meeting space for both the township and the library. Residents will benefit from this project for decades. There are some things making life worse in Harrison Township. We are seeing algae in the lake destroying the shoreline. It was first called Lingbaya, and now it is referred to as Microcera walleye. Regardless of its name, we need help to control it. It accumulates along the shoreline, preventing the use of the lake, and each year it gets worse. Funding to help fight it has been included in the upcoming state budget. Hopefully. When I wrote this, it was in there. Thank you to our state representative, Alicia St. Germain, for working in Lansing to help us fight this muck. Another thing that makes every community in Southeast Michigan worse is our roads. I became supervisor in 2011, and I have talked about the poor condition of our roads and the lack of funding to fix them in every I'm still talking about it, but there does seem to be a stronger push in Lansing lately to increase funding for roads. There is also a plan that proposes taking some funding away from locals in order to help fund roads. Again, we got a new announcement last night, so I don't know all the details, but I can share that I heard a recent interview with our House Speaker, Matt Hall, where he was talking about eliminating massive waste and fraud in the state budget, taking over $50,000 away from Harrison Township and state revenue sharing, and over $2.4 million from Macomb County annually is not eliminating waste and fraud. It's taking away our funding in order to fix a problem that's the state's responsibility. I'm asking our legislators to please fix the damn roads without taking funds from us. We have also been promised $95 million to replace the revenue sharing that we will lose because of the shift of sales tax from the general fund to roads. Many people don't know this, but Michigan used to have state and local sales tax. The state switched to a 4-cent sales tax in 1961 and eliminated local sales tax, but they also promised to share some of that 4 cents with locals. Some of that sharing is guaranteed in the state constitution, constitutional revenue sharing. Can't touch it. But statutory revenue sharing is not guaranteed. We used to receive $600,000 plus or minus in 2004 in statutory revenue sharing. By 2012, it was reduced to zero, $600,000 to zero. It's rebounded to a little less than $150,000 this year, still less than 25% of what we got years ago. And these numbers aren't adjusted for inflation. These are real numbers. So that $600,000 today, 20 years later, it would clearly even be greater. Please fix the roads, but do not do it by taking away our funding. The last thing I will address is short-term rentals. That last thing should probably elicit some applause too. The reality is, well, many renters are respectful of the neighboring properties. Too many times we hear about short-term rentals disrupting the peace of a neighborhood. We are working on revisions to our zoning ordinances that will prohibit short-term rentals in single-family residential zones. I am proud to serve as Harrison Township Supervisor. Each day is a new opportunity to practice the golden rule and serve others in the manner that you would like to be served. I have learned that there are some people you cannot serve in the manner they desire, but the majority of the folks we serve just want to be heard, respected, and helped. I am fortunate to have an incredible partner in my office. Stephanie is a superstar. She can handle the toughest personality with a smile, and she does all the work behind the scenes to make everything happen. I didn't do any of this. I'm lucky to have pulled off an incredible trade. I sent Clinton Township Sam, and they gave me Stephanie in return. Little inside joke. I can once again confidently report that the is excellent. Thank you to everyone for listening, and I hope you are all blessed with health and happiness until we meet again. Thank you.